Hello my beautiful and amazing people, badass Dark Zone agents, Uncle Butcher in the building with hardest hitting backfire setup in the game right now. Not only that, hold my beer because you can use this build in PvP and it will be the hardest hitting hazard protection setup in the game ever created. If that sounds interesting to you and you love to clap booty cheeks like there is no tomorrow, then welcome to the insanity. If you're new here, hit that like, smash that sub, welcome to the family. I'm covering Division 2 basically daily and other loot games or RPGs. I will provide you with the best PvP PvE build guides, and this one is no exception. If you want to farm open world activities such as control points, resource convoys, yati, all that boring shenanigans, then this build will be perfect for you because we have tons of DPS and of course hazard protection. But the key point why this build slaps, that we managed to pull all the best damage talents, Backfire exotic SMG and Coyote exotic mask in one combo, in one setup, and at the same time we are immune against the bleed effect. And if you will get lucky with your rolls, you can set up this build to be completely immune to all status effects. But before we continue, quick word from the sponsor Diving.net. If you don't have enough time or good teammates but you still want to have all the best items in your game, then Diving.net is set for you. They have absolutely amazing team on consoles. They will complete your order super quick. Everything happens through account sharing. This service has been for many years. They have tons of customer reviews. You can check everything by yourself. But now, with my promo code ERBIDIV, you'll receive 15% discount on absolutely all service. Amazing deal, especially right now. They have some crazy sales going on, so definitely check these guys out. But now, let's get back to this setup. Like I said, right now I'm focused on creating the best possible backfire setups. I already made one with Ninja Bike Backpack. This one is completely different story. Also, I made Intimidate and Bloodsucker combo, which was dope, but this one is solely focused on DPS and DPS output in a big way, baby, because we have Vigilance and Obliterate hand combo with exotic Coyote mask. Pretty much your typical DPS build, guys, in DZ and in conflict. Well, in DZ most of the time people are playing fat builds. What I mean by fat, with huge amount of armor, with adrenaline rush, unbreakable, things like that. But this build is completely causing mayhem right now, especially for me. I'm having a blast by running this build. Buckle up though, we have a lot to cover here, so please pay attention. For specialization here I'm using Gunner specialization, but you can replace it with Survivalist specialization if you will use this build in team play. For solo, aka Lone Wolves, use Gunner because on kill you will gain rate of fire and armor back. For team play, Survival specialization will be the way to go because you will be applying status effects with your grenades. Status affected enemies will receive more incoming damage and your medkit's gonna heal you and your teammates as well. So that's the major differences in two play styles, I guess. If you will spec out your weapon, exotic SMG backfire, you can gain even more DPS out of this build. My backfire is not optimized. It has only level 2 proficiency. You can gain like level 25 I think right now, so you can had a whole bunch of extra DPS, like 20% weapon damage easily to this weapon and be a menace in the game. So backfire is our priority here, our main weapon. We're gonna gain 200 crit damage with full stacks. We have no bleed damage on us whatsoever, no punishment. We're gonna stack it fairly quickly, especially on legendary difficulty or incursions where you have all the time elites or bosses in front of you, so stacking will not be a problem. For second weapon I'm using the map, name it shotgun with preservation talent. It works absolutely amazing. With one kill you can gain 30% armor back easily. So gunner specialization will give you 10 Preservation will give you 20 with headshot kill and 10% additional on the weapon itself, so you can gain with headshot actually 40% armor back only from one headshot kill. So the mob shotgun is the way to go. For the pistol orbit, this is the exclusive pistol. In terms of my numbers, I'm sitting fairly well with my crit chance and crit damage. Hazard protection can be really easily improved in this build. For example, you can replace one crit chance attribute with hazard protection. In that way, replace bleed resistance mod with crit damage mod. The same story on my chest piece. Instead of crit damage in this case, I would rather have hazard protection, and then I would switch bleed resistance mod against one more crit damage mod. So unfortunately I couldn't find my DPS pieces with hazard protection attribute on, so I had to use bleed resistance mod. But if you will find Sokolov's chest piece, Sombra piece with hazard protection, definitely use those, and by using those you will not lose anything. You will gain hazard protection and you will be immune actually to all status effects if you will find perfect rolls. In this case right now I am immune to bleed effect, but I showed you the blueprint. This is the blueprint, guys, template, how you need to set up your setup or build. Coyote mask, DPS wise, is the best mask to use in solo, in team play. Crit damage buff in close range and mid range, capped out crit chance, and of course additional crit damage. Holster, I'm using Cavalier holster. For backpack, I'm using Sombra backpack to gain crit damage and vigilance. For my chest piece talent, I'm using Obliterate. Best DPS talents in the game as well for PvP. So to use this build in PvP, you simply need to find Sombra backpack and chest piece with hazard protection attributes, so you could reroll so you could drop bleed resistance mod and replace those with crit damage mods. And I think you need hazard protection on one more Cavalier piece and you will ready to go, because we don't have hazard protection attribute on exotic Coyote mask. We don't have any option to reroll attributes on our exotics. So pretty much you can be immune to any status effects and use this build in PvP and replace Backfire exotic SMG with Ouroboros exotic SMG, which you can get in Incursion. So if you need help with that SMG, hit me up on Xbox. Let's farm incursions, because I have shit ton of keys and most likely we will get Ouroboros to you extremely quickly. So for the rest of the gear, I'm using Cavalier gloves and Yal's knee pads. In perfect world, I would rather use Yal's knee pads with weapon damage core attribute. It is what it is, but Yal's piece will give me 10% additional hazard protection, and of course I have hazard protection on the knee pads itself, so I have 20% hazard protection on Yal knee pads easily by one piece, and 2 Cavalier pieces will give me additional 30% hazard protection. So this build slaps.